Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Once again, I'm Ashley Marcello, and this is my first full YouTube video. The other one was just a little short introduction, getting to know you guys, getting to say, hi, how are you? Welcome to my channel. But today, we actually have a full normal video, and it's kind of a big one, if you will. So, this is my first book review video, but it's not just any book review video. This book was my first ever ARC that I was given, and it happened this month, in the month of May. And there's just so many emotions behind this because first, when I tell you I never thought I would get an ARC, I just didn't. I was like, surely they don't give ARCs to people like me who have, like, I'm not one of these book people out here that have millions of followers, nor am I like a writer myself. I'm just a person who makes books about videos. Videos about books. Hello, the other way around. And that's really it. But here we are with a review. Now, obviously, first and foremost, even though it was an ARC, even though it was given to me, in advance and for free, the thoughts are all my own. If I didn't like it, I tell you guys if I didn't like it. If I liked it, I'll tell you guys like it. I did actually like it, but we'll get to that in a little bit. That's later in the video. But I just want to put that first and foremost. I was not paid to tell you guys to buy this. I was not paid to say that it was good. I got no money out of this. But nevertheless, I am still happy that I got a book in advance. So, what's the book, you might ask? So, I don't actually have a physical copy. I just read it on my Nook because I got it through NetGalley, which I can do a video about that for you guys, about how I made a NetGalley account and about how to get ARCs through it, just because I got some helpful pointers from a book talk friend of mine, and they kind of showed me how to go throughout the process, and it was really helpful because I saw that some people don't, know that they need to put a bio and things like that in there. Anyway though, but I read it on my Kindle, so I don't actually have a copy of the book, but I will insert photo here. So, the book that I received in advance is Phantasma by Kaylie Smith, okay? This book. First off, I'm going to read you guys the little blurb about the book so that you guys can kind of whet your palate, if you will, before we really get into it, okay? So, the book, Phantasma. It says, "Welcome to Phantasma. There are only 2 rules to the game. Stay alive and don't fall in love. When Ophelia's sister disappears, there's only one way to save her. Ophelia must enter Phantasma, a deadly contest inside a haunted mansion, and claim its prize, a single wish. Phantasma is a maze of twisting corridors and lavish ballrooms of demons and temptations. Ophelia will face 9 challenges, each more dangerous than the last. There can only be one winner, and the other contestants will stop at nothing to eliminate their rivals. Every day the house creates new monsters, but just as Ophelia's fears threaten to overwhelm her, a mysterious stranger offers her a bargain. Charming, arrogant, and infuriatingly attractive, Blackwell claims he can guide her through the lethal trials ahead. All he asks in return is 10 years of her life. Ophelia knows she shouldn't trust him. Blackwell doesn't seem dangerous, but appearances can be deceptive. Worse still, she feels a dark and irresistible attraction drawing them closer and closer. Her life is on the line, but in Phantasma, the only thing deadlier than losing the game is losing your heart." It says, "A court of thorns and roses meets Caraval and the seductive fantasy adventure with steamy romance, a sexy, morally gray love interest, OCD representation, and jaw-dropping twist. Phantasma is perfect for fans of..." Okay, we don't need that because that's just like reviews of people. Okay, so that's it, okay? This book was so good. Like, I don't know really where to start with it. First off, from the beginning. And, okay, just a forewarning, all of my reviews contain spoilers because I'm gonna spoil it for you. So if you don't want to know about the book yet, please do not watch this. Like, please do not watch this because there's nothing worse than wanting to read a book and it gets spoiled for you. And then you're just kind of like, wow, well, I already know what happened. But okay, it does contain spoilers. Just recap. So first off, I open it up, and the first page, immediately, I'm reading it, and I'm just like, what? What's happening? What? And then I swipe, I go to the next page. And I swear to God, in like those 2 pages, I'm just hooked instantly. The book was just so, it really just sucks you in and it really just hooks you, in my opinion, again, from the first 2 pages. So basically, from the first page, it just really sucked me in. Okay, it was a little prologue. It was like a page and a half. And immediately I was like, what is going on here? Because I need to know what's going on here, okay? Got into the prologue, entered an actual book. And then it's just like, boom. Like, the first couple of pages, Ophelia's mom is dead. And then Ophelia goes downstairs to her mother's body and starts performing a ritual in which Ophelia's mother's magic goes into her, because essentially in the world, the like magic is passed down through generation. So Ophelia has a sister, but the sister doesn't get any magic. It's like the eldest gets the magic and you have to like perform a ritual to get it. Anyway though, okay, she does the ritual and then she has magic. And then that, like, the story just keeps going. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. I feel like some books take a little bit to really build up, you know, where they put in the characters, they do the world, they kind of establish, you know, a little bit of the story. And then maybe like 50, 80 pages in, then you're kind of getting that stuff where you're like, okay, what's happening next? But from this book, I got it from the very beginning. I was like, okay, but what's happening next? You know, I need to know. I want to know. And then it just kept getting better and better. I don't know if I agree with A Court of Thorns and Roses and Caraval. I do agree with Caraval. But whenever I wrote my review, I said that it was Kingdom of the Wicked and Caraval, just because this book like does have devils and it has demons, and it's a very gothic, dark romance. Okay, it's already my first full video. My camera died, so I had to change it. But anyway, like I was saying, this book is very much a gothic, dark romance. What I was saying, like with the devils, with the demons, with the witches, with the main character Ophelia is a necromancer, with the necromancers, with the ghouls, with just vampires. There's vampires in it for like a little bit. It's very much a gothic, dark romance, and I think that if you enjoy, you know, the ideas of like Dracula and something else dark and gothic that I can't think of off the top of my head, then you will enjoy that atmosphere and the world that this has created. So it does take place in New Orleans. Basically, Phantasma. It takes place in a house. And the house is the devil's house. And the devil's house like moves to different cities. And it kind of has the same idea of Caraval, how there's like a newspaper clipping and they're like, Caraval has arrived, you know, get a ticket today and all that kind of stuff. So basically it goes in the newspaper and it travels from city to city. And as many people can come, from my understanding, I don't think that there is a cap on how many people could come, but you come in the house. And yeah, it's like a horror house, you know, the house knows your deepest and darkest fears and it uses them against you. And then the 9 competitions that you compete in that I was referring to are based on the 9 circles of hell. So I can't tell you all of them off the top of my head. The wrath, greed, pride, the other 5. So it's based on those. So every single level, essentially, they go in, they compete, people die, and then you come out. And then, you know, you kind of repeat. And then throughout the day, whenever you're not competing in the competition, because it happens at night, people are haunting you. And there's, you know, ghosts that are getting you. And like one kid's deepest fear was a snake. So then a giant snake, like basilisk if you will, okay, just appeared and it started like biting people. So it's like that's the whole concept of it, okay, which is really cool because I very much enjoy the Caraval series a lot. Stephanie Garber is one of my favorite authors, so the whole kind of idea of Caraval but darker was really cool to me. And then just also the inner workings of like the demons and the vampires and kind of how all that came about, and like the devil's house and like everything within that. I thought that was really, really cool. So you are like in New Orleans for a little bit, but then the rest of the book, like 90% of the book, takes place in the actual haunted house, if you will. And that is where we meet the romance. Okay, listen. We all know what the normal romantic partners look like. We all know this, okay? Like Rhysand, Xaden, Dorian, you know, dark hair, lighter eyes, okay? And they're just like, there aren't that many blonde characters at all. Well, that I've read at least. Maybe there are. Maybe I should broaden my horizons. I don't know. But like off the top of my head, we have Jax, Prince of Hearts, which was in Once Upon a Broken Heart. And then we have Aaron Warner from the Shatter Me series, which I haven't actually read yet, which I need to read. But those are like the two that I can think of. This love interest has white hair, which is so refreshing, and like green eyes. The green eyes are always talked about. And yeah, so Blackwell is the love interest, and a love interest he is. So this book is adult fantasy. Need I tell you anymore? Okay, spice level. I saw somebody gave it a spice level of like 2.5. And I was just so taken aback because I want to know what their fives are. Because like, this book was so like spicy. And I don't know how they gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I did, but that's a whole nother I don't know. Okay, anyway though, but this book is spicy. Is it a 5 out of 5? I don't know. Like, it's either definitely a 4 or 5 on the spice content. I don't know which one it is, but it is definitely one of those, okay? So it is an adult fantasy book. It is spicy. With Blackwell. Blackwell is a really cool character because he just kind of appears, and they say that he's not a poltergeist. No, he's a phantom. They say that he's a phantom, which is like in the hierarchy kind of a ghost kind of thing, okay? And he just appears. And whenever he appears, you kind of think that you already know him because in the beginning of the book, Ophelia is like walking by this kind of rundown building that she thinks, and it's like getting closer to nighttime, and she's not supposed to be up past nighttime because her mother said that's when the demons come out, like the witching hour and all this kind of stuff, yada yada yada. Anyway, she's walking by and she like hears voices, and she looks over and there's like mist and everything. She enters in the mist and she hears another voice talking to her. She's like, hello, you know, who are you? And then that voice kind of goes away, and then a very male voice comes in, Blackwell. We don't know that it's Blackwell though, okay? We don't know that it's him. And starts talking to her and is calling her angel and all this kind of stuff, but she can't see him. Like, he's invisible. And she realizes that she's on the grounds of Phantasma, like the mansion. But the competition has not started yet, okay? So she's like, okay, I'm gonna walk away, you know, good. I don't forget all about Phantasma, like that's so weird. I just talked to, you know, Mist basically. And there's a chance of going into Phantasma because of her sister. But you put two and two together, and then it is confirmed later on in the book that that kind of voice that she was talking to was Blackwell, okay? So you kind of already have ideas about it, especially because he starts calling her angel also, and you're like, that's the same guy from the beginning. Okay, like, that's the same guy. But anyway, so Blackwell is a phantom. Blackwell is a jealous phantom, a protective phantom. Basically all of the main male character love interest traits and attributes that you can give him, he has them, and it's really great. And not only that, but he has a really cool backstory. So basically the house Phantasma was a punishment by the devil himself to his son. His son fell in love with a mortal, and the way that the king of the devils punished him was he sentenced him to basically live, you know, in this house, do this competition. A lot of his memories were taken away. The catch though about like the house is that if anybody falls in love, there's always like some big kind of punishment because he fell in love with a mortal. And so this prince of devils basically is in this house, and he is kind of like a legend in Caraval. You know, he's the guy behind the scenes and everything. That is Blackwell. That is Blackwell. Blackwell is the prince. And it's kind of one of those things where whenever you're reading the book, you kind of, well, at least I kind of thought that he was probably going to end up being like the big, you know, guy, the Prince of Devils. But it didn't ruin anything. So like I said this in my review of the book, I came up with two things that I thought that were pretty true in the book, and they turned out to be true, but that didn't take away from the scene whenever they became true. Does that make sense? So like sometimes I feel like you read a book and you're like, oh, this is totally the lost brother or something, and then the scene comes and it's like, I'm the lost brother, and you're like, okay, yeah, well, I saw that coming. Okay, anyway, next, you know. This book didn't do it for me. And I feel like I figured out two pretty bigger things about the book pretty early on. But again, like it didn't ruin anything about the book for me. It made, like, I was still shocked whenever the scenes came about. The scenes were really good that they were involved in. And it was just a really good overall story. And I feel like sometimes that doesn't happen whenever you kind of put two and two together without a book. Blackwell is amazing. Blackwell is great. We love Blackwell. Ophelia, the main character, is also pretty awesome. She's very strong. She's very independent. She's working through a lot of issues that she has. She's really just there for her sister, really fighting through it. And she's really great, because I feel like sometimes, you know, we get some female characters that, and there's nothing wrong with them, you know, at all. There's nothing wrong with this because the books are still great, but it's like they meet a guy and then they just kind of like, oh, I'll give up everything, or oh, what was the mission I was doing? And she was just like, listen, I'm here for this. It's great that I have you, but this is still my goal. You can stick around and we can have some fun, but this is what I'm here for, okay? That was Ophelia, and we just loved that this whole time, okay? That was pretty great. But yeah, two main characters were really great. I'll share some of the quotes from the book that just really sucked me in, and these are all Blackwell quotes, and I just think you're really gonna appreciate him after this because they're just good. Like let me just read you some, okay? He said, and I quote, okay, he said, if there were ever a divine entity I'd worship, it'd be you. What? I'm sorry. If that doesn't sell you to get this book, I don't know what does. I don't know what does. Like, let's, in a different life, in a fair one, I would have kept you until my eternal soul withered away to dust. It's giving the sound on TikTok where I would have come for you, and if I couldn't walk, I would have crawled. What? I mean, I'm sorry, but like those are, we love Blackwell. Blackwell is just a great guy, but 10 out of 10 recommend Blackwell. I can't recommend him enough. He's there. He's great. We love him. So yeah, the world building, I'd like, it wasn't like she created, you know, like Ilya and Powerless or Powerless. You know, it was a house. The house was described in very great, beautiful detail. I thought that it was very consistent with kind of the like idea and theme of this dark romance, you know, gothic New Orleans, witches and everything, if you will. You know, like red tapestries, leather, chandeliers, kind of gory details. Like, it was really good. The world was really good that she created. Overall story, I thought that it was really good. I thought that it kind of, like, it progressed and it built up, and then we got like resolutions, and I really appreciated that. Just the book was definitely very good. Again, there was steam. If you're into that, I mean, there was steam, if I may say so myself, okay? Yeah, so I mean, honestly, my overall ranking of the book, I gave it a 5 out of 5. I did. If you like dark romance, if you like gothic romance, if you like, it is adult fantasy, so if you like all those combined, I really do think you are going to enjoy the story, just because character building is great, world building is great, there is steam. I don't know if it's 4, I don't know if it's a 5, it's a 1 and a 2, it's not a 0, I can tell you that much from it. I think you're really going to enjoy it. If you don't like steamy books. I don't know if you're gonna enjoy this. It's not one of those books where it makes up like all of it and you're like, okay, how many, like, come on, like 400 pages of this? Like, it's not like that at all. However, that is a part of it. And it does happen, you know, quite a few times. If you don't like steam, I don't know how you're gonna feel about this book, but that's okay. Because that's why we have so many different kinds of book categories, and some of the books I like, you might not like, and vice versa. So yeah, this book is available September 3rd. Like I said, it was a ARC that I received, which I am so grateful that I received it. It was honestly really cool to just be able to read a book that hasn't come out yet. Yeah, September 3rd. It is available on Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and a couple other places. Kaylie Smith, the author, did tell me that there are going to be a couple places that you can order copies that have been signed that have an exclusive art print in it, which I think is really cool, and I will put all of like that info down below. So if you guys want to pre-order, if you want to get, you know, an exclusive signed copy that has a cool art print in it, you guys can. Yeah, first review of YouTube channel is Phantasma. Like I said, I did give it a 5 out of 5, and I just think that it was a very good read. It was something that I haven't read a lot of, and I really just thought that it was so cool. But yeah, guys, did I just do it? Did I make my first full YouTube video? I would like to thank the Academy. I'm joking. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you guys want to subscribe, that'd be amazing. If you guys want to like this video, that'd also be amazing. But either way, thank you for just watching the video in the first place. This is fun. It's my first long YouTube video, and I was really nervous about it. And I just thank you guys for just sharing your time with me in the first place. If you guys want to watch more videos like this or different kind of book videos, again, just subscribe to my channel. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.